Hello everyone out there, it's me, Bazag, aka Andrew Gilmore, and I would like to share with you some ideas that I had with Captain America Civil War. Um, Now, there are already a lot of YouTube videos, movie reviews out there about Captain America Civil War as a movie, and that's not what I want to do here. I want to actually talk about the themes and ideas that make Captain America Civil War the movie that it is, being that of course being ideological battles. Now, ideological battles, I suppose, are made up of two things. One, they're a battle of ideologies. That is, ways of approach, a system of approaching how things should be done. So these ideas are based, and then thoughts and ideas are collected together, and then that informs how we should approach various things. So that's basically what an ideology is. So how do these ideologies come into conflict, into battle? Well, there it is, conflict. When you have two ideologies that are trying to achieve the same goal, well, then they bump into each other and cause conflict. That's what an ideological conflict is. So how does that translate from a battle of ideas to an actual, physical punch 'em up, beat 'em up kind of conflict? Well, I mean the answer is pretty simple because there's already conflict. It's more of an escalation. And so what do I mean from escalation? Well, I've got an idea of how things should be done. You've got an idea of how things should be done, and we both think we're right. We both have our systems of philosophy, of whatever makes up our ideology. That system has something that we're right about. And so if we're right, then the other person has to be wrong, right? So if the other person's wrong, then what does that, if we let them have their ideology, if we let them make their ideology happen, what happens then? Well, there's actually a line in the movie that I really like. It's one of my favorite lines in the movie, and it's not a funny quip. It's not a jokey joke. It's actually quite serious, but it's said by one character to another, obviously. But I won't share with who, just in case, who said it and to who, just in case people haven't seen it yet. But it basically comes down to this. He's the person says they they think they're right, and that makes them dangerous. So if someone's wrong, I mean, the implication clearly here is that this other person's wrong. Then by making by doing things that they think are right yet are wrong, that could cause problems later down the track. I mean, you see it in pretty much every field of study. If you do something based on wrong information, well, that's going to end up badly for you. That might end up badly. That's going to end up badly for others as well. So if you do an experiment based on faulty information, then you might get an explosion. You might get dangerous chemicals, release gases, whatever. In economy, if you do things based on wrong information, then you could you're going to harm the economy. Things are going to happen that you're not going to expect, and people are going to hurt and get punished. And if you're going to do things, particularly in Civil War, in Captain America Civil War, if you're going to act in a wrong manner, then not only are you going to hurt innocent civilians, but you're gonna hurt superheroism as a whole as well. So whatever side you're on, that's going to happen. So I mean, if you're right, if you're wrong, I'm not going to at this moment say a judgment, but I do have some thoughts. So yeah, that's what an ideological battle is, and that's why ideologies are so important. Because if you've got it wrong, then you're not going to do any good. I mean, because that's the whole premise of Captain America. People trying to do good. That's why we have economic systems. That's why we have political systems. That's everyone, for the most part, is trying to do good. And so, and the other person, the other person, the person who doesn't share our ideologies, is the one that's going to stuff it up for everybody. That's why ideologies can easily result into to not not a battle of ideas, but into a physical antagonism, into a physical battle that we see in Captain America Civil War. So if being right is so important, then how can we know that we are right? I mean, everyone has a different perspective. Everyone has gone through different things. So, I mean, so if people's experiences and people's understanding, if people's perspective are so different, then how can we know which one is telling the truth and which one is not? I suppose that it comes down to this thing, and this is why I wanted to talk to you and explain this, because it comes to me. I'm I, I'm going to share something that I haven't shared on the internet. That I'm a politically that I'm pretty centrist. That I don't. And what does that mean? Centrism in politics. Well, it's an idea of balance, that there's good in here, but there's also, some things that may cause some problems, especially if we, just keep going down, become more extreme in that ideology. And the same over here for a different ideology. If we do that, then, I don't know where my hands are. But anyway, and if we take one ideology to any sort of extreme, then there are going to be winners and losers. There's going to be harm that's done, but people may have a better go of it. Some maybe. And so why I'm centrist is that there isn't any single ideology that is the right answer. Now, I know that there is at some point a right answer for any given situation. There's just no actual way to determine what that is in our current state. I mean, let's pretend, for example, that there's this person out there. Their name is Greg. I know why I chose Greg. Actually, Greg was my family's cat, but he's dead now. But anyway, Greg has all the answers. He knows exactly what to do in this situation. He knows everything about economics, and he can tell you what is the best thing to do in any circumstance. He can create a perfect system. So if he can do that, then all we need to get him is to get him to power, right? But how do we know that he's got the right system? I mean, ideologies are by their very nature very subjective. There is no way to completely analyze an entire ideology. So it may work for this specific situation, but it also may cause problems that we don't expect or see coming. And so that's the whole thing of Captain America Civil War, is that I'm neither Team Captain I'm neither team, and neither am I team. And that's the thing with Civil War. I'm neither team Captain America nor team Iron Man, but I'm also team Captain America and team Iron Man because there is at least some parts of those ideologies which are correct. We just have to work out which one of them are. And it doesn't really matter what the subject, what ideologies are in conflict. It doesn't matter. Um, Captain America has a very individualistic ideology in this movie, whereas Iron Man is a very collectivistic. And these are pretty broad general categories. I mean, they can be applied to economics, they can be applied to security and a Patriot Act in the US. I only know that as a I don't really know much about that. But also, I mean, it takes things to more like broader philosophical ideologies such as uh, religions versus, atheism versus creation versus science versus evolution versus what have you. There whatever ideology that you have, there is an ideology that is compared to it. But you don't know you're right. I don't know I'm right. Don't know. I don't know what the answer is to all of life's problems, and that's really what scares me. I mean, I could say, well, I have faith in individualism. I could be a full libertarian. I could say no government is evil. But there's things that the government do that are beneficial. So if the government that I do, I mean, if the government works, if there's a collectivist idea there that works, then how does that then truly then my ideas uh, in individualistic ideas are not truly individualistic, are they? So yeah, so I suppose when it comes down to it, is that there is a truth. There is a best way to approach life. There is a best ideology. There is an answer, but we're human. We all have our own perspectives. We all have our own philosophical underpinning. We all approach things from a different manner. We all have different brains. We all have different intellects. We all have great differences between us. But yet we're all the same too. So I suppose that's just my thoughts about ideological battles and Captain America Civil War. So I thought that may be helpful. It may not be. You may just not even watch this video. But I thought I just wanted to share those thoughts with you today. Thanks. Bye.